Available now. Link below.
Attention America, brace yourselves for a jaw-dropping expose of AOC's impeachment meltdown and a shocking display of ignorance and arrogance. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez clashes with a key witness, bizarrely claiming that RICO is not a crime. As a heated exchange unfolds, AOC's lack of legal knowledge is laid bare for all to see. But the insanity doesn't stop there. When confronted by Senator Ted Cruz, AOC doubles down on her outrageous assertion, sparking a firestorm of controversy, and we've got all the reaction. This is more than just another political circus. It's a disturbing glimpse into the mind of one of America's most prominent leftist figures. As the impeachment proceedings descend into chaos, one thing becomes clear: AOC is dangerously out of her depth. So don't miss our in-depth analysis of this explosive story, and be sure to stick around for my final thought on what this means for the future of our republic. Now, the impeachment hearing took a bizarre turn when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, in her signature style of grandstanding, clashed with witness Tony Bobulinski over the nature of RICO crimes. And speaking of crimes, did you know that the U.S. is entirely dependent on foreign sources like critical metals like nickel? Well, it's a pressing issue, as nickel is crucial for both traditional industries and the growing demand for energy storage solutions. Alarmingly, most of our nickel comes from Indonesia, where production is environmentally damaging and heavily influenced by Chinese investments. However, companies like Alaska Energy Metals, they are working to establish domestic nickel deposits through responsible mining practices. To learn more about supporting American critical metals independence, visit alaskaenergymetals.com. Now, in a stunning display of ignorance, audacity, AOC, commonly known as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, found herself in the treacherous waters of political debate during a recent impeachment hearing involving Tony Bobulinski. As Bobulinski earnestly attempted to detail the alleged criminal acts and corruption that he witnessed, AOC seemed to be in a world of her own, where the RICO Act, a powerful tool against organized crime, was reduced to a mere category. Now, the bizarre misinterpretation by AOC is just another example of the insanity that plagues her public appearances. The impeachment process is a serious matter, and concerning allegations of criminal misconduct that should not be trivialized by such irresponsible comments. When a high-stakes process like this is turned into a circus, it only serves to erode the public trust in our democratic institutions. See the moment for yourself.
York.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Bobulinski, I heard your opening statement. It's submitted to the record, part of our proceedings. I have a quick question. Simple. Is it your testimony today that you personally witnessed President Joe Biden commit a crime?
I believe the fact that he was sitting with me while I was putting together a business deal.
Did you witness the president commit a crime? Is it your testimony today?
Yes.
And what crime have you witnessed?
How much time do I have to go through it?
It is simple. You name the crime. Did you watch him steal something?
Corruption statutes, RICO and conspiracy.
What is it? What is the crime, sir? Specifically.
You asked me to answer the question. I answered the question.
No.
RICO, you're obviously not familiar with. Corruption statutes.
Excuse me, sir. RICO is not a crime. It is a category. What is the crime?
It's a category of crimes that you're then charged
You
under
have charges.
a long 100
You
list
have
of
charges. Sir, please
want me to name the exact statute under RICO?
Yes.
Well, it's funny. In this committee room, everyone's not here. There's over 18
All right, sir, I reclaim my
lawyers
time.
that went to law school.
I
I'll leave
reclaim
it
my
up
time.
to you guys
Okay,
to
thank
define
you,
the
sir. I
statute
reclaim my
under
time.
RICO.
Clearly, what we are seeing here today is a continuation of the 15-month saga of the Republican majority lost in the desert. Impeachment 101. The majority party, or whomever is raising impeachment, must accuse the president of a high crime, a specific high crime or misdemeanor. I would like to submit to the record HRES 918, the House resolution to open this impeachment inquiry.
Without objection to order.
This resolution does not outline a high crime or misdemeanor. It's not here. Now, when we compare the chairman's opening from his previous opening, he's talking about Ukraine and Burisma and all of this. This entire inquiry is based on a blockbuster piece of information that was in a classified SCIF room. And inside that room was a document alleging President Biden directly of a $10 million bribery scheme, a $10 million bribery scheme, extremely serious. What happened? What happened a month ago, Mr. Chairman? That document, the FBI arrested the person who offered those allegations for falsifying his testimony to the FBI. This entire impeachment inquiry is based on an actual, provable individual who has lied. Now, responsible leadership would withdraw an inquiry based on that. Withdraw it. Instead, what we are seeing is that this committee was warned about the falsehoods of these allegations long before that, warned by Trump's Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and yet they proceeded anyway. The chairman proceeded anyway. This committee was warned by Rudy Giuliani associate right here, Lev Parnas, after that document about the falsehoods of this. Then held hearings where your own expert witnesses said that there was no grounds for impeachment, and you proceeded anyway. And finally, as if none of this was enough, the FBI arrested the individual who was the source of the entire, to quote the chairman, heart of the matter, to launch this impeachment inquiry, and proceeded anyway. At this point, the story is not the fact that the basis of this impeachment inquiry is wrong. The story is why it's proceeding anyway. Why is this committee proceeding based on false charges? And by the way, no charges. I have yet to hear in the chairman's opening the allegation that they are specifically charging the President of the United States with. I'm hearing about Biden family. I'm hearing about this and that. I am not hearing the specific allegation by this committee. What is it? It's not here, and that is the problem. The story is when this committee knew that they were working with falsified evidence. That's the story. And with that, I yield back.
AOC's behavior highlights the urgent need for knowledgeable and sensible representatives in our political system. In the grand theater of political drama, it's become alarmingly clear that AOC is out of her depth, and the recent impeachment proceedings revealed a shocking display of ignorance and borderline insanity, with AOC's blatant disregard for the substantive criminal acts alleged overshadowed by her obtuse understanding of corruption and RICO laws. In a striking critique, Saul Weissenberg breaks down AOC's misguided statements on RICO laws, offering a concise lesson on the reality of federal statutes, and his insight exposes the gaps in her knowledge, underscoring the importance of understanding the law before attempting to challenge those who do. Watch.
RICO is a crime. It's a federal statute, 18 United States Code, Section 1962. Furthermore, it has a subsection D that includes conspiracy to commit that crime. Bobulinski mentioned both RICO and conspiracy. There are many federal statutes that cover conspiracy, the most important one, 18 U.S.C. 371. So it's nice to know what you're talking about before you try to bully a witness. But he was a very, very uniquely powerful witness that they really don't have any dirt against. So they needed to do everything possible to divert attention from what he was saying.
So the curtain's been drawn back, exposing an unprepared and ill-performed puppeteer desperate to control the narrative. While the impeachment relentlessly trudges on, we must not be distracted from the true performance of tragic comedy on untamed ambition and unfounded accusations. The American people deserve better than a vaudeville act of ineptitude and evasion. And during the hearing, Bobulinski got into a fiery exchange with AOC, and she began her questioning, asking Bobulinski, who personally witnessed President Biden commit a crime. When Bobulinski answered affirmatively, AOC pressed him to name the specific crime. He said, "How much time do I have to go through it all?" And he listed corruption statutes, RICO, conspiracy, FARA, before being interrupted by AOC, who demanded that he offer specific crimes. shouting, "Excuse me!" And the singling out Bobulinski's mention of RICO, claiming RICO is not a crime, it's a category. It's worth noting that RICO laws have been primarily used to combat organized crime in the past, but they've gained renewed attention recently as former President Donald Trump faces a RICO case in Georgia related to the 2020 election. Now, Bobulinski suggested that there's a long list of statutes that would apply, but AOC kept pushing him to name specific crimes. Of course, he responds, "It's funny, in this committee room, everyone's not here. There's over 18 lawyers that went to law school. I'll leave it up to you guys to define that statute." Of course, AOC, as you heard, repeatedly interrupted him, reclaiming her time, pointing her index finger in the air, as you can see. She then used the remainder of her time to scold her GOP colleagues for proceeding with the impeachment inquiry without specific charges of high crimes or misdemeanors against Biden. And Republicans wasted no time in chastising AOC, particularly over her assertion that RICO is not a crime. The GOP-led House Oversight Committee posted a clip of her comments on X, accompanied by a facepalm emoji. Senator Ted Cruz also weighed in, calling AOC's statement bizarre and affirming that RICO is most assuredly a crime that often results in massive felony sentences. However, AOC doubled down on her claim, lashing out at Cruz directly on X. And she argued that RICO is a statute under which specific crimes may be considered, and challenged Cruz to name the RICO crimes and evidence that the House GOP has since, because they seem to know. So the impeachment hearing clash between AOC and Tony Bobulinski serves as a reminder of the dangerous consequences when elected officials prioritize political theatrics over truth and justice. AOC's shocking display of legal ignorance and her dismissive attitude towards serious allegations of corruption underscore the urgent need for principled, knowledgeable leaders who put the interests of the American people first. So as the impeachment process unfolds, it's crucial that we, as citizens, demand accountability and transparency from our representatives. We must not allow the insanity of partisan politics to overshadow the pursuit of truth and the preservation of our values. The future of our republic hangs in the balance, and it's up to each and every one of us to ensure that reason and integrity prevail in the face of chaos and deception.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.